What's up, guys? Quick live stream. Let's find some bets. So we're going to be looking, let's see, actually. Let's take a look. Let's see where there's value. So on these live streams, I try to focus on the main books that, we all have access to, or most people have access to. I don't know where you are, but PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, the main sports books out there. So Underdog, PrizePicks, ParlayPlay, Fliff. We'll kind of be using them all in this live stream, hopefully. Well, it looks like the board on Underdog Fantasy is pretty dry. So let's actually start out on PrizePicks because why not? And let's try to make a PrizePicks 5 flex for tomorrow. So the first play available, and again, I follow a very data-driven approach. You can do what you want, but that's what I do. And the first play we can see, and let's just wait for this to load, is Siakam under 24.5 points. So a lot of the best bets, actually, the best value that I find on PrizePicks is early, when they first post lines. All these books set their own lines. Sometimes there's pretty big discrepancies when these books first post lines. So, for example, if you look at Siakam, PrizePicks has his line at 24.5. We're going to hit the under. At least that's what, the data is saying. And why is it saying that? Well, look at all the sports books. All these books have his line at 23.5. And you can see a lot of these books actually have his under favored, like FanDuel, Caesars. They have his under 23.5 points favored. PrizePicks has the line at 24.5. So it's okay, looks like there's a little bit of value on the under. So maybe that's a good play to go with. And then, better picks, not a ton of value right now. There is some good value on better. Again, ideally, you use as many of these books as possible. But anyways, let's go back to PrizePicks. So we have Siakam under 24.5. All the sports books have his line at 23.5. FanDuel has his line at 23.5 with the under favored. So PrizePicks has their line too high relative to the market. We want to take the under. And so many people like to look at these, last 5 grabs on PrizePicks Siakam had over 30 points in the past 2 games. But every game is different, right? Everything is baked into the market. The odds books are putting out, lineups, injuries, everything. It's baked into the market. So, sharp action, FanDuel's not fucking stupid. If all their smart customers start betting Siakam's under, they'll move his line lower from 23.5 to 22.5, or they'll add more juice to the under 23.5, minus 122 to minus 140. But anyways, we got our first good play, but let's find some other good picks to go with because it looks like there's actually a fair amount of value. So one play, everyone's going to hate it, but early college football play is we do have Penix under 300. PrizePicks has a lot of these college football lines overinflated. Obviously, Michigan has a very good defense. He's an incredible quarterback, but PrizePicks has the line at 300.5. All these other books have his line at 287.5, right? So, or some books have his line at 297.5. Another thing you could do, not recommending it necessarily, but is you could middle bet it. You could bet the over 287.5 on Underdog. Then you could go to PrizePicks, bet the under, right? And if he has exactly 288 to 300 passing yards, you'll win both bets. But anyways, we'll skip over it for now. The game's obviously, still pretty far away. So we'll skip over Penix for now. So the next play we can take a look at is Zubac. So we got a big game tomorrow, Clippers Suns. I'm actually curious who's favored. So if we actually go to the game tomorrow, it looks like the Clippers are minus 140 favorites on the money line. But what we want to go with is Zubac over 19.5. Is that the right play? Wait, let's go back here. Over 19.5 points plus rebounds. So I don't even see this. So maybe they moved it. PrizePicks is known for bumping stuff pretty quickly. Usually the good lines don't last all too long. So we're going to have to skip over that. But you can see they have Nurkic over 13.5. This is in the same game. So what we can do is we can just kind of load up this play and take a look at it. So the first thing you're going to notice is FanDuel has Nurkic's line a full point higher at 14.5. And again, even if you don't use FanDuel, a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't know. I don't use FanDuel. Why should I care about where FanDuel sets their lines? And even if you don't use FanDuel, it's still a data point, right? It's still a source of information for you to make good bets off of. FanDuel is a $10 billion company. They take a lot of bets. They got really good models, moving lines around based on where action's coming in, and they have the line at 14.5 with the over favored. And and you can see they just bumped Siakam on us. Oh my God. So they just bumped Siakam on us. So I guess we're not going to take Siakam's under, but they have Nurkic over 13.5. So that's the first play we can go with. And then we can also take a look. I mean, there's a lot of good bets on FanDuel, it looks like right now. I mean, anything else? I mean, sometimes the values in these random markets, even odd. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, we'll skip this over for now. Let's try to make a PrizePicks play. So we have Nurkic's over, right? Other books have his line higher. And then the next play is Matt Cross under 30.5 PRAs. So this is a college basketball play. And maybe we can lock this in as well. Make a little PrizePicks slip. Sometimes they have good. It doesn't look like they have touchdown lines up. I mean, sometimes they do. So if we actually take a look, I mean, we can see, are there already lines up for the college football playoffs receiving touchdowns? So you can just take a look. And again, the way that PrizePicks works is, so it doesn't look like books have lines up yet. Fliff actually has the under a little favored. You can see they have more juice towards the under. And again, like the way PrizePicks works is you take a guy's over or his under. It doesn't fucking matter. You get the same payout if you take a player's over or his under. So essentially, like, obviously we only have one sports book here. They have his under favored, minus 130 favorite. So if we wanted to take a play, we'd probably rather lean to bet the under because the under is favored. And PrizePicks gives us, the same payout if we take his over or his under. So we'll start with Nurkic. And then unfortunately, I mean, it looks like a lot of the good plays went away. I mean, the second we started the live stream, they started to bump this stuff. But what we can do is hopefully we can make a play. So maybe we take this play on Penix. I mean, I don't love it, but what we can always do is we can always like hedge out, right? Like let's say his line, by game time is around 280. You can always bet a little bit on him to go over. So another nice thing about PrizePicks is, so we can pull up receiving yards. What I was going to say is another nice thing about PrizePicks, which a lot of people probably already know, but is you can correlate bets, right? So what I mean by that is there's also value. If you look at his main target, his main receiver, Rome, PrizePicks has Rome's line also inflated relative to the market. All these other books have his line, 88.5, 91.5. PrizePicks has the line at 97.5. It's kind of like selling a stock at 97.50 when it's trading in the market at 88.50, kind of a no-brainer. And what you got to remember is these plays also pair very well together. Penix goes under, then Rome's more likely to go under. Like it wouldn't make any sense to take his over, right, and get the same payout. Like if you're taking the quarterbacks under, probably want to take the receivers under as well. So we can throw in that play. It also has a little bit of value. Then we can go to LeBron over 15.5 rebounds plus assists. So let's just add in this quickly. I mean, hopefully they don't bump anything on us. So this is the next play we can go with. And again, on PrizePicks, like one thing to consider is the best slip type. And what I mean by that is like, if you look at PrizePicks, they only give you a 5x payout for 3-pick entries. Whereas Underdog Fantasy, on the other hand, you make a nice little 3-pick entry, they're giving you a 6x payout. So PrizePicks is a ripoff, right, for these 3-pick entries. So, we don't want to play a 3-pick entry. But anyways, let's go back to college football. Receiving yards, we'll take Rome's under. And now we have, 2 really strongly correlated plays. We have really good value on the Nurkic play. FanDuel has his line at 14.5. And then we just need one final pick to go with. And the reason we need a final pick to go with is this is kind of interesting, is PrizePicks, they add a payout shift. They usually give you, if you go 5 for 5 and a 5 flex, they usually give you a 10x payout, but they add this payout shift because we added 2 correlated plays for college football playoffs. So they're reducing that to a 9x payout, but if you make a 6 flex, they take that away. Like, then you don't have to worry about it. They take away the correlation. But anyways, what we can go to is, we just need one final pick, ideally, that we can find to go with. And we'll find one. And hopefully we can, find some other bets as well. So we can check out ParlayPlay after. So anyways, what do we want to go with? So we'll find something. And you can see there's a lot of value on ParlayPlay as well. So we'll head over there after. And again, that's kind of the benefit of having multiple sports books is you just, you never know which book is going to screw up their lines on a given day, have the most value. So you can see there's some pretty good NFL plays. I mean, in general, popping up on ParlayPlay. So we'll head over to ParlayPlay after. If you don't have ParlayPlay, they have a $100 sign-up bonus. You put in 100, you get 100 for free. It's also legal basically everywhere that PrizePicks is legal. So it's a good book to have. But anyways, we do need one final pick to go with. So let's just try to find something. I mean, what I did see earlier is the optimizer. So this like fantasy optimizer, it'll only show plays if there's enough sports books posting odds. So sometimes when there's not a ton of books that have lines posted, you won't see plays, right? But if we take a look here, if I take a look at this sportsbook screen, I don't use it all that often. I use it to kind of like see the data. But I'll give you a simple example is if you look at, a couple of these plays, they're just low. Actually, this looks like the play to be on. CJ Stroud, I think the Texans can still make the playoffs. Jock Market has his line at 244.5. All these other books have his line at 257. So if you use this sports book, again, it's the benefit of having multiple books is they all set their own lines, is they have his line way lower than the rest of the market. So that seems like a good play to go with. PrizePicks is a little low at 251.5. Jock Market's really low at 244.5. But another play is Minshew over 232.5. You can see all these other books have his line around 240.5. So that's a decent option, right? So what we can do is we can go to him. But what we can also do is just be like, okay, we found a line discrepancy, right? PrizePicks is too low relative to the rest of the market. But what about, maybe there's better plays in receiving yards. So sometimes I just like, it does look like, Michael Pittman. That's actually a great play to pair. Fuck this LeBron play for a second. So what we can do is get rid of this LeBron play. We'll see if they add a payout shift. So they do add a payout shift. So you can see like 74.5, 79.5 across the board on these other books. Here, PrizePicks has Nico Collins a bit too high. All these other lines are basically in check. Although Tyreek Hill, 101.5, 94.5 on all these other books. So again, like sometimes it's just interesting to look around, see where the value is. Sometimes there's nothing, but sometimes you can find some pretty good plays. But anyways, so this seems like a good option to go with, right? Michael Pittman. They do add a payout shift down from 24x. So what we can do is you can kind of like, we can see like, what does this payout shift do in terms of the win rate? So basically on PrizePicks, like to be profitable playing 6 flex plays, you have to win your bets, your over-unders above 54.2% of the time, like Michael Pittman over-under. And we have really strong correlation on these plays. But the question is like, okay, what if we use this payout shift where they're bringing down the total payout to 24 to 24x if we get them all right for a 6 flex? And you can kind of see all we have to do is like kind of, mess with this ROI number. And you can see it doesn't really a 25x to a 24x payout shift. It's not that big of a difference. So honestly, like there's value on all these plays. These two plays are super positively correlated. These two plays are super positively correlated. Pittman's the main target. So if Minshew goes over, then Pittman's a lot more likely to go under. And same thing here. So honestly, this seems like a pretty solid play to go with. So we can go back to Underdog. Oh shit. So now we got some lines on Underdog Fantasy popping up. But unfortunately, well, let's take a look. Do they have TD lines up? So let's see if they have touchdown lines up. It looks like there's some good plays already in the market. So what we can do is we can just kind of take a look. CJ Stroud. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, rushing touchdown. What we can do is we can go here to player touchdowns. So again, like the market's always moving. Books are always releasing odds, just like the stock price is always changing and stuff like that. It's kind of the same thing. So like Jonathan Taylor, and you can see like there's not, books really don't have his over or his under. It's like the over is a very slight favorite, but very small. But it does look like there's some good plays on Underdog, just not enough to like place a bet. So let's skip it over for now. But we got a good play on PrizePicks, which I feel pretty good about. So we can go over to ParlayPlay. And again, depending on the books you use, in this live stream, we're talking about PrizePicks, correlation, that type of stuff. But you can already see some good NBA bets if you bet on sports books, like, Laurie under 21.5 points. Caesars is giving you plus 106. All these other books aren't even giving you plus money. Pinnacle, which is known to be one of the sharper, smarter sports books, they have the under favored, and we're getting plus money on Caesars. So that seems like a decent play. So there's some good value on Caesars, but college basketball showing up. I mean, pretty low profit margin, not a lot, over 1%. But anyways, whatever. What we can do is we can lock in a parlay play slip quickly, because why not? So the first play we have is Jared Allen over 15.5 rebounds plus assists. So this sports book works just like PrizePicks, fixed payouts, kind of all that type of stuff. Really the only difference is, again, all these books set their own lines. So for example, if we take a look at Jalen Brunson, PRAs, so Jalen Brunson, points plus rebounds plus assists, it's like, sometimes the value's on PrizePicks, sometimes it's on ParlayPlay. So you can see here, it's like PrizePicks, all these other fantasy sites have his line at 37.5. Yeah, like literally you have dozens of data points, books with sophisticated models. These books, like FanDuel, is a multi-billion-dollar company. They have invested millions of dollars into their ability to set lines and move lines based on where sharp, smart, profitable customers are placing bets, where volume's coming in. All these books have his line at 37.5, right? It's just like rational. ParlayPlay has his line at 36.5. All these other books have his line higher. We're not doing anything, no rocket science going on here. We're just following the data, following the market, and the fact that these books, there's so many sports books in the US, and they're also inefficient. But anyways, we have Zubac over in PRAs. So we're already on Zubac on PrizePicks, but hey, we can take him on ParlayPlay as well. Then we have Tyreek Hill under 100.5 receiving yards. So this play, like whatever, it's Tuesday. We'll have to wait a bit. And then we have Josh Allen under in passing yards. So that play doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense to pair that with Tyreek Hill. And then we have this Matt Cross guy under 30.5 PRAs again. So we can go with this. Or we can take LeBron over. I mean, maybe we take LeBron over 15.5 rebounds plus assists, because why not? Right? So now here it's like, okay, now we have a 6-pick entry. This is the same payout structure as PrizePicks. I mean, PrizePicks, we got a payout shift here, 24, 2.4. But again, it's not that big of a difference. 25 to 24 is much better than 10 to 9 for a 5 flex. But anyways, what I was going to say is like, okay, we have this play on ParlayPlay. They have a max bet size of $60. That's just what their website says. And, same payout structure as PrizePicks, same strategy. Only difference is all these books have different lines from one another. So we can lock that in. So then we got a play on ParlayPlay for tomorrow, someplace for Sunday. We can check out the sportsbook Dabble. I mean, Dabble, it looks like, has a lot of value. I haven't even signed up for it yet. But anyways, we can go here and we can take a look, see if there's anything else. If not, we'll call it a day for now. There's a lot of bets on FanDuel. There usually is some good value on FanDuel, but, not a ton of people have access to it compared to PrizePicks, Fliff. So we can kind of skip over those plays. But there's a lot of value available right now. Are there any good arbitrage plays? Not really. I mean, depending on the books you use, like there's some good plays on Resorts World, But I mean, nobody, Resorts World is only legal in New York, so not a ton of plays. But if you do use DraftKings and Bovada, here's a good arbitrage play, right? So arbitrage is, again, all these books set their own odds independently. So when these books get super out of sync, arbitrage is when two books get super out of sync. You bet the over on one book, the under on another book to guarantee a profit. You're hedging for a profit. That's what arbitrage is. And you can see Bovada has his over at plus 105. DraftKings has his under at plus 100. You could throw money on both of these and guarantee a risk-free profit. Kind of like day trading the sports books. But anyways, we'll call it a day for now. I mean, there is another play on ParlayPlay. So if you wanted to, what we can do is just be like, okay, like maybe, for example, if you don't do college sports, because not every state allows college sports, you can see there's a good play on Laurie, points plus rebounds. So if we go to points plus rebounds, we can just take a look at this really quickly. PrizePicks has the line at 28.5. Every other book has ripped them higher to 29.5. PrizePicks is too low, right? So speed is important. I want to get there quick. You already saw them bump the Siakam line on us. So we get there quick. We lock it in. And there we got another good play. Really good correlation on both of these. And then really strong value on the Nurkic play and the Laurie play. And again, the reason I'm betting 25 on PrizePicks is not because I love that bet size. It's just they hit me with limits, $25 max bet size, which sucks. And Underdog did too. For some sports, Underdog lets me bet $100 on some bets. But for some sports, it's only $20, like college football. So limits suck, but, that's just kind of part of the game. But anyways, thanks so much for your time. And, hopefully you were able to tail these plays. Let's make some money. I'll have a bunch more plays tomorrow.